I've been natural for 19 years, since 1999. I keep playing that my hair will soon go to university and I'll do a birthday party when it turns 21. But the thing is, I keep cutting my hair because, I don't know, maybe it's I don't know. I always grow it up to a certain length and then I cut it. So right now, it really should be longer than this, but it's not. So I think this year, maybe I won't cut it. So by the time it's 21, it should be much longer than this. Au Naturals was started in 2009 as a blog by 3 sisters who all had natural hair and were in all their different spheres of life. So we were answering questions on how to care for our natural hair, how to care for the natural hair of our daughters, because my older sister has 2 daughters with natural hair as well. And the salon started in 2013. Most people think Au Naturals started in 2013, but no, it started as a blog in 2009. Au Naturals is actually derived from the O sisters. My sisters and I were popularly known as the O sisters because all our names begin with O, and so we have natural hair. So it just progressed naturally to O Naturals. I started off in financial services. I started working in a cash office, and from there I went into working in a cooperative. I went into private banking, and then I went full-time into Au Naturals. However, while I was in my financial services career, I was still working as a professional hairstylist on the side. And in 2009, I now went into professional hairstyling of natural hair. At the time, natural hair wasn't a big deal. There weren't many schools teaching stylists how to care for natural hair. And a lot has changed now. So I was in banking, I was in financial services for about 18 years before I transitioned fully to working with Au Naturals. So I left the financial services industry in 2015, January 2015, and have been working with Au Naturals since then. And I left after 18 years because it was time. It was time. Au Naturals needed a lot of attention at the time for the organization to be able to grow to what it is now. We are not where we want to be. We still have a lot to do, but I wouldn't have been able to grow the business from where it was in 2015 to where it is now if I had been working simultaneously at another organization. I went into natural hair care because my younger sister went natural, and I was a professional hairstylist at the time, so I was helping her care for her natural hair. At the time, there wasn't much information about natural hair, so really we were doing trial and error. And we would ask my mom questions about different products. And my mom would tell us about coconut oil, ori, which is shea butter now, which the world knows as shea butter. So that was what we were using, and I would weave her hair, I would style it differently. We used thread and those kind of things. And as I was doing that, she was getting a lot of compliments, a lot of questions outside, asking her, who did your hair? How did you take care of your hair? And she would direct them to me. I was working at a salon at the time. So after working at the salon during the day, I would be answering questions. People would be at my house. I would go doing mobile hair styling for various people. So there was a need. There really was a need. And we felt that we had the capacity to solve that problem and to meet that need, and that was how we decided to go into natural hair. I had some apprehension before leaving financial services completely, before leaving paid employment completely. I was afraid, I was unsure. Should I even say I was confused? But I was not, I will say this, I didn't have any doubts that Au Naturals would succeed. I don't know if those two contradict each other. There was no doubt in my mind that the organization would do well. This business idea would do well. But my concern was, okay, so you will now leave banking and then you will be doing a job that you don't know how frequently you're going to get paid. You don't know when you'll get paid. A customer is going to come. You have no idea. So that apprehension was there. That fear was there. Will natural hair, will a salon that cares for strictly natural hair succeed? And I guess, well, like I said, in 2015, ending of 2014, November, a good friend of mine told me that I should write my resignation and prepare to move into focusing on my business so that my business would grow. So I wrote that resignation in in September, handed it in November, and actually left in 2015. So there wasn't really, I had always been in there. So my heart had always been in there. So there wasn't really a definite time where I said, okay, I'm going to do hair now and I'm not going to do financial services. And to be fair, I still have some dabbles in financial services now. The initial challenges for setting up Au Naturals, honestly, no word of a lie, would be, first of all, us. The ones who came up with the idea. Just, I guess, encouraging ourselves to go ahead to do it. My older sister is a medical doctor. My younger sister is a writer. I was in financial services. So we had careers in different areas. So we were really our first challenge, kind of believing our own vision and putting our vision into putting it down on paper and sharing it with other people. So that was one of the challenges. Another challenge was, of course, finding a space. Where are we going to set up the salon and all of that? Wow, the sacrifices that I had to make to get Au Naturals to where it is today would include, of course, your major sacrifice was financial sacrifices, right? So took out of my savings, retirement plans to fund some of the things that we had to start with. Like I said, I sold shares to mostly my family, and they bought shares because they believed in it, and so that was helpful. To be honest, I think some potential relationships suffered, and looking back, would I do things differently? Maybe not, because it's difficult to hire people to do the work when you don't even really know what the work is. You don't even know how the system will be per se, because when you learn it in hair school is different. Because I did hair school abroad. Learning it, doing the salon work in Nigeria is really different. So finances, yes, you have to sacrifice a lot of finances, and some relationships did suffer. There have been many moments when I wanted to quit, and one of the reasons why I did not was because I did not have another job to go to. So sometimes it's good for you to leave where you are and face one thing so that you don't have anywhere to run to. But one particular moment comes to mind. We had done, I don't even know if the customer had actually interacted with us, and by that I mean whether we had done her hair or anything like that. However, we got this email from her, and it was very, very, it was a painful email, you know, insulted the organization, insulted our services, and then proceeded to insult me, of course, being the face. Some people don't know that there are three sisters, and you feel like you are too big, you are too this, you are too that, you don't know anything, and this business will not, you know, go more than this and all of that. And at that time, I had not developed a very good strategy for taking feedback. You know, I was coming from where I worked for somebody, and those people had structures. So, you know, feedback is sent to a particular desk and they have how to handle it. But in this case, because we were small and starting, feedback came directly to me. And I remember crying. I felt personally attacked and insulted, and you know, I wanted to, you know, say I'm trying and all of those things. And I remember wailing. I didn't come to the salon for maybe a good week. So my friend, it's good to have good friends. My friend told me, well, if you are going to get more feedback like this, and if you want to kill yourself, you will cry all your tears, then you start crying blood, then you will just die. So you need to find a strategy. And it was interesting because what I learned from that experience is that you need to think about several scenarios. You may not think of all of them, but you need to think of several scenarios. And you have to remove yourself personally from your organization, because Au Naturals Beauty is a registered organization. So it is actually a legal entity. It's a person on its own. Omozo is not that person per se. So that was how we started developing our strategy on how to handle complaints. The best moment so far in my career has been expanding the business to where it is now. We've expanded from 4 chairs to 14 chairs. And in my mind, I think that's growth. Regardless of how small it may seem to somebody else, it is growth. You've grown from being, small, very small, to, medium or small now. So instead of smallest, you're now small or smaller, whichever way you want to look at it. But that was very exciting. I remember sitting down on my styling chair, looking out the window, how cliche, looking out the window, and thinking to myself, if everything were to scatter today, I would not be upset. My favorite part of running Au Naturals is creating styles and interacting with my staff and customers. I can shout at my staff. They know that, but they know that we have a goal and an objective. So it works out well. This most requested hairstyle in the salon, I think right now, is combination. Typically when we bring out a new hairstyle, a lot of people want to try the hairstyle out. A lot of people want to get it done and all of that. So right now, combination is our most popular hairstyle. And we spice it up with a little bit of roll and talk, with a little bit of extensions. But right now, combination is leading the pack. Nigerian hair through the decades is very, very interesting. I'm actually a fan of the history of hair and the progression, changes of hairstyling and hair care in Nigeria. Some things may seem to have changed. But we still use ori, we still use coconut oil, we still use avocado to take care of our hair. Our grandmothers did it, our mothers did it, and we are doing it now. The styles for the different festivals, for the different events, weddings, childbirth, deaths, Oshobo festival, the hair styles at that festival alone is amazing. Even the Argungu festival. So hair in Nigeria is rich. We are trendsetters. We take from other places and we turn it around to make it ours. So much so that people think it originated from us here. The local techniques, rather indigenous techniques like threading, DD, we incorporate those even in our hairstyling today and even in Au Naturals. So it is rich, it is interesting, it's mesmerizing. And one thing about Nigerian women is we are bold when it comes to style, whether it's clothing, makeup or hair. If I were to go back in time, I would do many things differently. First thing, I would not delay. We got the place, start. Just start. All the mental gymnastics and somersaulting doesn't get you anywhere, So I would start earlier. I would have started the natural hair salon earlier than planned, than we did, actually. And I would actually have written more things down, structured more, Sometimes people think it's difficult to structure what is not in existence, but I think it's important to create what is not in existence and you kind of grow into it as opposed to waiting for things to happen because you become reactionary. So with the new projects that we're working on, we're being more proactive. So we are structuring now, we are planning and strategizing for now and for the future. So those two things I would do differently. We would start immediately and we would create what it is we wanted to see. Hello, I'm Omozo Ehigie. This is not your 9 to 5, but it's my life.
It's my life, my world. It's my life, my world.